The Metis Tech Show.
Welcome to the Metis Tech Show, a show for HVAC professionals by HVAC professionals.
I like how you guys bounce back and forth between heat pump talk and food talk.
The Metis Tech Show.
Mitsubishi.
All right, so what is this place in Maine you were telling me about? Fire something?
It's called Lost Fire in Arundel, Maine.
Arundel, Maine. That's near Kennebunk, isn't it?
Yep, Kennebunkport.
Okay, and what's so special about this place?
It is an Argentinian steakhouse.
Sounds interesting. I've never had Argentinian steak. What makes... I know they're big for their cattle. They got a lot of cattle ranches in Argentina.
You know, just like the flavors, the seasoning, like the menu is different. It's not, I want to be clear, it's not like a Brazilian steakhouse, like with that like signature kind of look. Like I would put Lost Fire, almost like a tastier, craftier, like Capital Grill, Smith & Wolinski, like quality,
So quality.
place to be.
All right. And you've been there too?
Yes, I would say it's very unique compared to like any. I wouldn't compare it to a regular steakhouse.
Is it a high-end, like a 5-star
Yeah,
place?
Yep.
So I
Definitely.
can't go in there with cut-off jeans and a halter top?
They may take you. It's Maine.
it's me. Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. No, it's a great establishment. It's cool too because they have the regular restaurant. It's kind of got this nice rustic feel with like a lot of like mood lighting, and then you can go outside and they have a yard out there that has like all crushed cheese shells and other like almost like cabana styles and a big bonfire, and you know that's the place you get all these little crafty drinks.
Oh, yeah, with
Yeah.
all the stuff in there, the
All
food
about
drinks.
the crafty drinks.
Yeah, we were even there last time we went was with a big group of people, and they have like little individual rooms for big tables. So there's a whole bunch of them like across the lines. Like we were in our own room, and there was only 6 of us, but it was pretty nice.
All right. And what's your favorite dish up there?
Everything.
Yeah, I think everything. I'm pretty sure last time I got there, I just got a strip and it was really good. The flavor of it was awesome.
All right, this is an important question. How do you want your meat done? How did you order it?
Medium rare.
Okay, that's acceptable. How did you order it?
Double.
Double what?
Medium rare.
Oh, double. Oh, okay. I thought you said double medium rare. Like, how do you cook that? So medium rare is acceptable. I'll accept medium. If Steve were here, he likes his well done burnt, so all the flavor is just gone.
What?
No.
You're not serious.
No, he likes it well done.
Ugh.
Yeah. It's why even spend the money on a steak if you're going to get well done. Get some steakums. It's about the same thing. So what's the name of this place? Fire something? What?
The Lost Fire.
The Lost Fire in Arundel,
Maine. Yep.
Maine.
And then they just opened up a sister restaurant, Ultramar, which is all seafood based, and that's a very, from what I've heard, uppity, great food. Same.
Is that
same
also
quality.
up in Kennebunk?
That's Cape Porpoise, Kennebunkport. Yep.
Okay, that sounds good. I'll have to go up there and try it out because I like me some steak. And then seafood's good too. I might have to go do that.
Yeah, I don't go up to Maine very often.
Wait a minute, they have desserts up there?
Oh yeah.
Okay, what's the best dessert they got?
Again, I've never had a single thing there that's been subpar, ever. I mean, we've gone up there for the last 4 to 5 years.
Yeah.
Was this a family thing? You guys go up there as a family?
Yeah, we go for their Christmas prelude.
Yeah, your whole family goes up there?
Siblings.
Siblings?
We meet up with like cousins, aunts, uncles. Like we're also like, 2 of like 60 first cousins.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who gets stuck with the bill?
I think it rotates.
Oh, okay. You have 60 first cousins?
Just about. I mean, if you want to put an average on.
Okay. I have, Bryn and I were just talking about this. On my father's side, just first cousins, I have 51. On my father's side, my mother's a smaller family, I got 48. So no, those are just first cousins.
Yeah.
And when my wife and I got married, my wife has 3 cousins, period.
Yep. 3.
And that movie, My Big Fat Greek Wedding? Well, it was My Big Fat Portuguese Wedding in reverse. So, that whole, what side of the aisle you're going to sit on, that didn't work for us because we had to even it out. I had over 300 people at my wedding, and I'm going to say like 250 were on my side of the family, and the other 50 were hers. And she wanted to marry into a big family, and boy, did she ever.
wish.
Now she regrets it. Oh, yeah, I'm sure. She does. She's never thought about divorce as far as I know, but I'm pretty sure she's considered homicide. In fact, I see her watching Dateline movies, those Dateline shows all the time,
Yeah.
and I think she's just research. Anyway, I'm just guessing. Anyway, welcome everybody to the Meta's Tech Show. My name is Paul Shavs. We have two very special guests returning. Kelsey. Kelsey, tell us who you are. Say hi.
Oh, hi, I'm Kelsey. I own Enhanced Mechanical out of Boston. I've been doing HVAC for 15 years, and this is my sister, Michelle.
Michelle, and you're also in the trade.
I am. I'm in the electrical part of the trade. though,
You
not
are a
HVAC.
master electrician.
I am.
Okay. And we talked earlier about teaching the whole course. I could do that for you, but I might squeeze that in here later. So for those of you watching on YouTube, when you think of a mechanical contractor and you think of a master electrician, this is what I picture. Exactly what you see here. No, but we're happy to have you both on. We've made it sort of like an unofficial tradition every year around International Women's Day. Give or take a week or so, we bring on some female contractors, and that's why, that's not one reason you two are here. I've mentioned this before, too. I think we're at the point where we don't have to distinguish somebody as male or female. I mean, I think there's enough women in both trades right now, and you guys been doing it for a while, so I'm kind of interested in, Kelsey, we've talked to you already before, so I'm just going to talk to Michelle.
Venture out. Heat's over there.
Yeah, so who you get into the trade first, because as your sister pointed out before we went live, you're much older than her.
Oh, much older. Oh, that
That's what she
changed. That's
said.
not how we worded it before.
I'm just saying what she said.
yes. So by a few years.
A few years. I was thinking just, a year at the most. And I'm not even going to ask how old you are because...
You're not supposed to do that.
you're not supposed to do that. Who did you vote? No, never mind. So what made you get interested? Because you have a sister who's slightly older by a year or two at the most, who was in an HVAC trades. What made you get into electrical?
So for electrical, we both went to the same technical high school, and we just explored the shops, and electrical was on the one that I liked the best. I was good at it, got good grades in it, and I stuck with it.
Oh, we didn't even introduce you. I'm sorry. My fault, but it's Michelle.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Michelle Patricia. Master electrician. All right. So tell us about how you got started in.
So I went to Shawsheen Tech. I started with there. I went through the whole program there. I got hired at a co-op company, and I worked for them for about 8 years, almost 9. Got my journeyman license when I was 21, my master's right before 23, and I've been doing it ever since.
And when did you start your own company?
I started my own company officially full-time probably about 4 years ago. But I also teach during the day at a technical high school now, but right back at Shawsheen.
Oh, so you squeeze in all your work after school?
Yep, after school, weekends, vacations, summer.
Summer. That's nice. Very nice to have that.
If Michelle doesn't have a job, she starts to Twitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How often do you two work together? Because you own Enhanced Mechanical, we've had you on before. You own your own company. So how long, I'm assuming you hire her as a sub?
It depends on the job. She'll try to pull us into other buildings. And then if we have work going on that's going to fit her schedule, and I know it is, I'll try to toss the work over and go from there. And then I think we're almost continuously working together, calling with questions on a daily basis of how does this work? How does that work between the two trades? So that's pretty often.
Yeah, you two get along, it looks like.
Today.
For the most part.
Yeah. And there are other siblings, right? And there's one more in the trade, right?
She used to be in the trade. The sister in between us used to be an electrician as well.
Okay.
But now she's a vet tech.
Okay, well, that's actually more fun, I think. I like animals, too. Except, I couldn't do it because when I had to put my dog down, and the vet techs are in there and everybody. So this is a funny story. Not funny, huh?
Is it funny?
No.
Where are we going with this?
Sound funny.
Speaking of dead animals,
We had a beagle for 13 years, Sophie, best dog I ever had. And we put her down, and my son was like 9 or 10, maybe 8, I don't know, somewhere around there. And then we got a dog right away. Like 3 months later, we got a dog, and I took her to the vet. And it happened to be the same vet who put down Sophie. And she's sitting there and she's trying to make conversation with my son because I took him with me. And she goes, "Oh, what do you think of your new dog?" And he looks at this doctor. I felt so bad for her. He looks at her and says, "I like the old one better, but you killed her." Yeah, I felt bad. Anyway, I digress. I do that a lot. I digress. And where were we? You both get along, no fights.
We have
Never.
never. We have our sister Jacqueline in between us, who is also an electrician. She helps you out on some side work here and there, right?
Yeah, here and there.
Oh, so she maintained her license.
Yeah, she'll keep it forever.
Yeah, that's a good thing. You don't want to lose that. It's too hard to get back.
Yeah.
She worked too hard for it. But no, she took a different path. She's, again, obsessed with animals.
I don't blame her. I think it's a good.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about that again. I'm going to cry about my dog. So, Kelsey, we might have talked about this the last time you were on here, and we can come back and revisit it. But I want to ask Michelle. Tell me about getting into the trade. You've been doing it for how long?
Just about 10 years now. So ever since I was a junior in high school is when you can work officially out in the field. But I mean, I've been doing it in the tech school since sophomore year and the freshman.
All right. And there are more women in the trades now, which I'm happy to see, because your trade, the electrical trade, just like HVAC and like carpentry and everything else, all of them, and plumbing, of course, all of them have a shortage of technicians.
Yes, definitely.
But so there are more women now because we can't fill those positions, the jobs that we have available, with just half the population. So we need female techs, female electricians, plumbers, HVACs, and so on. But I would imagine that when you got into the trade 10 years ago, there was not so many.
Yeah, definitely not. I was the only female in my class. There was a girl in the beginning, my freshman year, but she transferred out before sophomore year.
You know. And how did you find actually going into the field and working? Did you think you were treated differently?
I don't think that I was. I did work for a small company. It was only a 3-man crew for most of the time, if not 4 sometimes. They just treated me like any other person.
Oh, good. No, that's nice. That's nice to hear. I'm actually glad about that because that's how, of course, it should be. All right, so we have you both here because we have a project going on here in our building. So we currently have our city multi-equipment, that's a 410A, and we're going to be replacing it with our 32 equipment, which is sitting out on the back in the loading dock. And you both came here to look at that because, Kelsey, we're going to have you do the mechanical. We got some electrical work that needs to be done. Michelle, we're going to have you do that. And we surprised you last minute and said, hey, since you're here, let's go on a podcast. So you cleared your schedules and made time to be on the podcast. So thanks for that. So tell us about the project, what you're going to do here, and you can tell us how your part's going to be, and just plug everything in. And we can talk about the lesson you taught me about the difference between 460 and 480.
Yeah, so the project we got going on is we're going to be removing the engine and putting in a next gen. All new piping, all rehanging of units. We're gonna she's gonna clean up all the Mnet wiring in the ceiling, try to make it neat as go through, and bring it up to that class podium for Steve and you. And I don't know, Bryn, if you teach classes or not, but yeah, okay, yeah. Yep, Bryn as well. So that's good. Commercial side, we're gonna clean up the piping on the MLP, do some adjustments there. We're gonna also tie in all the indoor units there. Maybe remove some of the heads on the that go to that
The water source, right?
yeah, QHV?
QAHV.
QAHV. Thank you. I couldn't remember the
No,
acronym.
PQRY. PQHY is actually,
Oh,
that
I'm
one's
sorry.
a Y series.
I forget
water
what we're
source.
doing in there. I forget what we're doing.
Yeah, the water
Anyways.
source
Yeah,
Y series.
the PQ,
Minus the names. But
Yeah, the PQHY is the water source unit, and we're actually going to be doing something interesting with that. We have a CAHV unit coming in, which is, Bryn, how would you classify that? It's just a heater,
Yeah, it's a low delta T water
a
heater.
low delta T water heater.
Yep.
And that water can go anywhere you want. There's literally 1,000 different applications we can use it for, which is why we've decided to just put a buffer tank between that unit and the water source unit. And the buffer tank is just going to be one closed sealed water loop. and the buffer tank is just going to be, I forget how many gallons it is. I want to say
300.
It's 300 gallons. So the CHV is going to run in heating to heat the water, and we'll run the water source and cooling to cool the water to put a load. We're going to use them to load each other.
Yep.
And that's it. And so that's going to be some piping there as well. There's a couple of M series units. And it's funny, you mentioned the generations, X Gen. And the reason it's the MNet needs to be cleaned up is because in the ceiling. So when I started here, we had J Gens.
Right.
Or maybe even, no, I don't know. I think it was, the J Gens were replaced when I first got here, and the old units were there. I think it's H Gen, then J, then we had the
K.
And now we got the L, and now we got the N, and now this is going into the X. So
What are you
every
guys gonna
time we
do when
move,
you're done with the alphabet?
Why did it skip? Yeah, why did it skip all those letters?
I
You
have
want
no
to talk
idea.
about that?
No, I don't.
Yeah, it was interesting because it's also the first time that on the M&P and the City Multi, you see the parity. So M&P units are X, have the X in them as well. So GX, FX for those wall mounts. Commercial also is, transitioning to X. So I think it's really just a clear delineation for the A2L stuff.
Yeah, what scares me is we've only got 2 generations left, and then we're done with the alphabet.
I'm sure we can go back.
that's
You
what
probably
I'm gonna
circle
do.
back to
Yeah.
some other letters.
But every time they replace something, we'd have contractors come in and they'd run new MNet wire. And I'm not kidding you. I bet you there's 3,000 feet of MNet wire up in the ceiling, and most of it's not connected to anything.
Yeah.
So we just decided rip everything out and start over, because if you've ever tried to find a short or an open in a wire and you don't know where it's run, we're just going to make it easier on ourselves for the next time. So we're going to bite the bullet on that.
And on top of that, due to the X generation having different MNet, it's a good opportunity now to completely start over as opposed to trying to rework, which is what we've done. We've had the existing MNet, we just took it out, dropped the unit in, put it back, but then things get tangled and disorganized now because of the new MNet wiring for the X gen. It makes sense to just
And let's talk about that. How different is the MNet wiring for the X gen versus previous generations?
It's not significantly slow. We talked about this at the ACTI conference when we did that first, kind of preview into the X generation. But the way I've been explaining it to folks is there's essentially now 2 separate daisy chain runs, where you have what I call the primary daisy chain, which would go from your outdoor unit to all branch controllers. If it was a Y series, then it would be outdoor unit to all shutoff valve kits. And then on the shutoff valve kits or branch controllers, there's an additional MNet terminal block called Terminal Block 3, and that is starting a brand new MNet from that device, SVK or branch controller, down to every indoor unit attached to it.
Right.
So
And
you
the
could
reason-
have, 4, 5, 6 different subs, and those are all going to have their own daisy chains attached to the indoor units that are actually piped to that particular component.
And the reason for that is because this is it's our R32, which is an
32, yeah.
A2L. And if there is a leak sensed, because now the indoor unit's going to have sensors, it needs to know which unit to shut off. In this case, which branch box or which shutoff valve kit.
Where do we isolate?
Hence the term shutoff valve kit.
You got it.
All right, so that's good. So
Yeah, so when he explained that to me, I went to Michelle and I'm like, you're already laughing. I went to Michelle and I was like, yeah, so anyways, you do daisy chain and then hopscotch, 2 different daisy chains. That's how I explained it to Michelle. Like,
Yeah, which is
there's
how I
train
teach it in
talk.
class.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
hopscotch it and you
the
hopscotch it.
hopscotch guy, what?
Yeah, I thought it was clear.
Did you understand it?
I usually just go from A to B, and then that's all I need to know.
I told you. All you need to know to be an electrician is drill a hole, fish a wire. That's it. We're done. I don't know why you spend 8,000 hours learning something. Just look at the code book, drill a hole,
License.
fish a wire. That's it. Yeah. here
On
we
the
go.
topic of A2L, just because I'm preparing for the ESCO conference where I'm teaching about hydronics as a solution to the refrigerant changes. So part of that prompted me to look into A2L refrigerant, why we chose A2L refrigerant as the new change, and then also how GWP is calculated. And one of the things that I learned, which I was incorrect about, and I might even have said on the podcast incorrectly, R454C compared to R454B. They're the same combination of refrigerant, 1234YF and R32, but the major difference is that R454B is about 68% R32, and then the R454C is only like 18 to 20% R32. So the GWP on R454C is only like 148 compared to R454B, which is 466. So I just thought that was interesting. For some reason, I thought they were very similar, just slightly different concentrations. In fact, they're inverted, where there's actually much more 1234YF than R32, in the R454C.
And R32 is the air quotes flammable
Correct.
part of the refrigerant.
Well, actually, 1234YF is as well. However, the GWP on 1234YF on its own is only 11. So that's why we get with the larger concentration with the 454C. It brings it down so much.
Yeah. And we say flammable, but it's so hard to ignite this. We've talked about that before. Yeah. Everything that we have, all of the rules that are in place are out of an abundance of caution, worst case scenario. But in the reality, there's a reason that it's called an A2L. The L means it's very low flammability. There's a cone and a triangle they explain, and just barely gets into that cone. Yeah. In there, so that's why. I mean, in reality,
even 410 we've talked about has R32 in it. So
but it has R32, but the other side of 410 was actually
125.
125, which is the opposite of flammable. It actually makes it non-flammable. So that's why it wasn't. That's why it wasn't flame retardant. Was what I was looking for. That's why it wasn't such a big deal. Yeah. Did you get all that, Michelle?
Yeah,
she's actually taking notes. She's taking mental notes right now.
I saw her drifting behind you to the poster. She's like, A2L?
So many acronyms.
Yeah, there's a lot.
That's okay. Yeah, because there's no acronyms in electrical.
We've got like EMT, which I'm going to be running a lot of that in your lab. But that's
okay, what does EMT stand for?
Electrical metallic tubing. Sorry.
Okay, MCP? No. I'm sorry, that's not MCP.
No, you just made it up.
What? That's what I mean. I feel like he's making these all up.
MOCP.
MOCP.
Maximum overcurrent protection. Right. What's a little spirally wire that you need? What's the difference between BX and MC cable?
BX and MC cable. So MC cable usually has its own specific ground. BX cable has like a little thin ground that back wraps around your sheathing on the outside. And it's a hell of a lot harder to cut.
Because those always confused me.
Yeah.
BX is definitely the older version. MC is more what you use now.
Yeah. We called in the trade, like when I was like wiring up systems, they would just call anything that had armored cable BX.
Yeah, that's still
anything armored cable was called BX.
Everyone does that.
Yeah.
They were talking about it in there, and they were saying BX, and I was like, it's MC. But
I
wasn't going to correct it.
Tomato.
Yeah. We didn't get to electrician for a reason. Yeah.
I mean, you investigated your the 460 versus 480 debacle.
Yeah, well, it's made for me. It's a memory thing. Like, so all our equipment that's above 208, 230, the next step is 460. And I've been here 13, almost 14 years, and I just forgot that for us in this country, it's 480. It's 460. We got 460 in the back, 460. We got every.
Sure.
And then we realized today, after talking to Michelle, that it's not 460, it's 480.
Yeah.
But the way I look at it, it's like 120 and 110. It's the same thing. People just call it different.
I think it really matters. I used to do a lot of lab work, and when they do testing like that, that 20, 10 volt difference matters a lot.
Yeah.
For if they're testing batteries or anything in a laboratory. So we'd really have to like buck boost transformers everywhere, changing stuff like that. So that's why I wanted to make sure. I was like, I don't know how sensitive this is.
No, and for us, it's 460 plus or minus 10%. So we're good with the 480. And, when you turn it on, we'll find out.
Well, that was the thing, too, is I think because all of our equipment is labeled as 460 and because our single-phase units are 230, that we just double it, and they're like, that's what it is.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, I think
that was part of the confusion.
And we already have because the CAHV is a 460 volt unit. We already have it installed in Jersey. It's been running. Gary's been teaching classes on it.
Right.
And we're fine. We're okay with that. But yeah, it was just me. I just forgot that it was 480. I just got conditioned to the 460.
Yeah. Yeah. So when it comes to you guys working together on projects, whether it's this one here or just other stuff that you do together, is there how much coordination goes on as far like because today you're here, you guys are kind of mapping everything out. Is that typical for you guys to do that as a pair and do walkthroughs together, or is it usually Kelsey does her walkthrough and says, Michelle, I need you for XYZ? How do you guys normally coordinate? When you do work together?
I feel like it depends on what it is.
The scope.
If it's a Kelsey personal project, we walk through it like 7 times.
Oh gosh.
It happens often. And then even after that, we change it again.
Sure.
So it really depends on what it is on the scope. Sometimes it could just be a text of this or so on, or I'll go there and Just
It's-
call, FaceTime, figure it out.
It's funny you said that because this is her 4th time walking through this job.
Oh,
There we go.
Just
You know,
look
she
at
didn't even take any notes until the end too. I was taking notes the whole time. I was like,
That's why she has to come 4 times.
True.
And then not the pictures,
yeah. Yeah, no, it definitely depends on scope. Most times we'd both walk it. I'm definitely not going to tell her how to wire something, because if I do, then I'll get a low dig like that. Because you were wrong.
Do you guys fight a
Fair
lot?
enough.
'Cause this is,
oh, this is just friendly banter.
okay.
You don't want to see a fight.
I'm the youngest of 5 boys, and my next older brother is 7 years older than me, and I must have been about 12 or 13, and he was picking on me, and I just got him real good. I snuck up behind him, and I don't know what it's called, a half Nelson or whatever it is. I got his arms behind him. I'm holding him back, and I dug my chin into the back of his neck. I made him beg. He was in so much pain. I made him beg. He never touched me.
Was this
again
like
after
last
that.
week or?
Oh no, I was like 14.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I was 12.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I couldn't imagine you doing that today.
no, I could. Well, I'm much bigger than him now, still.
Yeah.
So, but in other ways. But, yeah.
So with both of you guys being business owners, and it sounds like very busy schedules. I know, Michelle, you have a lot of irons in the fire. Kelsey, we talked like 3 or 4 times prior to coming on the podcast about how many things you have going on and how you're trying to delegate that. What do you do when you're not at work? So how do you unwind? How do you shift your focus away from all the responsibilities of owning a business?
Do we have any hobbies?
I also take college classes for my teaching degree.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Oh, good.
So education.
Yeah,
Cool.
a lot of education. If we can, snowboard.
Yeah.
I'm a big gym person, but
Me
Yeah,
too.
me too.
Yeah. But mostly Slim Jims. Yeah.
So snowboarding, working out. Yeah, those are all fun activities.
Yeah.
Kelsey, are you a skier? Is that what you were saying, or snowboarder?
Snowboarder.
Snowboarder. Okay, cool.
I'm more of a snowball. You know those little Hostess snowballs? Yeah.
You're just full of them today, huh? I'm just trying to ask about hobbies over here.
yeah, Kelsey told me I wasn't allowed to ski and that we only snowboard, so that's how I
Fair
got
enough.
into it.
Yeah. We talked a little bit off the air about how poor I was at snowboarding, and the learning curve was just too steep for me, and the aversion to being injured was enough for me to hang it up.
The Winter Olympics has been on recently.
Yeah.
And, I've been trying to watch as much of it as possible, but the snowboarding, how these people are breaking their necks every other day is beyond me. But the cool thing, I'm much older than either of you, but when I was a kid, there used to be a show called The Wide World of Sports, and at the beginning of the show, they would have the thrill of victory, and I want to say it was somebody. It was either a boxing match or somebody winning a race, and then they have the agony of defeat, and there was that long jump. These skiers come down with no poles, and they're leaning forward, and then they come off this ramp, and they're in the air, flying through the air. But there's this one guy that hit the post at the end. He must have broken every bone in his body. It was, but anyway, all this to say that nothing like that happened at the Olympics this year. So.
Are the Olympics done?
No, I think they're still on.
Okay.
I mean, I think they're on for another few days anyway.
Okay.
Usually it's like a 2-week thing.
Gotcha.
I think they're on like a week and a half.
Yeah. I've been catching highlights, and it seems like the Winter Olympics are mostly just hurling yourself down ice tracks or off of big hills. Like that's majority of the events are just like, let's send this sled down an ice track as fast as you can go.
Yeah.
And hope for the best for the most part.
They had a bobsled accident.
Yeah.
That tipped over, and then one bobsled hit a broom. The guy was cleaning up.
Oh,
I don't know what they
geez.
call that, the course or whatever. But it's a mile-long course that goes down 400 feet.
Yeah.
And these guys, and then even the luge and the skeleton, they're not in the bobsled for protection. Like the skeleton, I think they go down head first.
Yes.
I think the only difference I can see between that and the luge is they go down head first and they're wearing a helmet and they're going 80 miles an hour on this sled on ice.
Yeah. And maybe I'm uneducated, but is there steering involved with that?
I would imagine there has to be. I mean,
Like I know with the bobsled, they can do some steering
right, but
of the sleds. But
that was my question. What's the athleticism here? Are they leaning a little bit? Are they steering, or are they just going 80
some
miles
of it,
an
I
hour?
know a lot
on
of it
this?
is the push off, like how fast you can get going.
I feel like you gotta have
that's a
your
lot of
core
effort.
strengthened too. Like, I
Yeah,
don't know, they're
sure.
in like a plank the whole time,
Yeah,
right?
right. And you don't really want to be rocking back and forth because I can imagine that would affect your speed.
It
but-
just it's scary.
Yeah, that's what I'm
80
saying.
miles an hour on ice, it's scary. And like wearing this super skin tight suits.
Yeah.
I think for the aerodynamics, but that's not much protection.
No.
I mean, when I used to ride a motorcycle, I'd wear a lot of leather because that prevents the road rash if you have to slide, because that hurts. Not that I've experienced it, but I don't want to chance it.
I wonder
Yeah.
what does the Olympics have like a safety PPE program? Like we have
They
to have like
have
an
to.
OSHA PPE program.
Well, even
Like
like,
what other?
Yeah. Is
What
there
is,
some sort of
like-
governing body around the safety
There has to
related to
be.
these events?
well, they like ban certain moves. Like even with the skating, like the guy that did the backflip, that was technically a banned
right.
move because
Yeah.
it's so dangerous.
I've heard. Yeah.
Oh, I thought they let. You're talking about Ilya.
Yeah.
No, I think they allow that now. The backflips. But yeah, either way, I was just wondering.
There was
Yeah.
one couple. There was one couple figure skating.
They can't agree on anything.
No, there was one couple. Yeah, it's true. It's the rivalry.
Literally.
But there was a man and woman couple figure skating, and she's on her side, and he throws her up, and she's twirling, and they measure. He threw her up 11 and a half feet,
Oh, wow.
Wow.
and then he caught her, and she's like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just don't know
Pretty cool.
how they do that, but I prefer the Winter Olympics to the Summer Olympics.
You do.
The Summer Olympics has so many sports that shouldn't be in there. So many, and I'm not even going to call them sports. First of all, I'm sorry. Breakdancing, it's not a sport. It doesn't belong in the Olympics.
Sure.
Skateboarding, that's something little kids do. It doesn't belong
that's the next
in the
games
Olympics.
thing.
It's like the curling. I was trying to watch the curling.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I've never seen anything more boring. That's like watching a dart tournament.
It's just
like,
ice bocce ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
But some of
bocce
those
ball in the
sports-
Olympics? The Summer Olympics?
No,
'Cause
but
they
some of
should
those
be.
sports are pretty cool. Like one of the things I think is awesome, or like insane, something I could never do myself, is water polo for the Summer Olympics. Like they're swimming in like a 20-foot deep pool, but they're like chasing after ball. They have to like get up in the air and throw. Like I don't even know how they're
Yeah.
lifting themselves out of the water when they can't even touch the ground.
Yeah.
It's wild.
The biathlon in the Winter Olympics is, I think, the coolest thing now that I think of it, because they're cross-country skiing several miles, and then they got a rifle, and they got to shoot a target the size of a golf ball 50 yards away, and all they have is mechanical sights, no scope.
Right.
Those are the people that should go to war, because they're never going to be too tired to shoot, and their aim is dead on.
Yeah.
And boy,
that's
did
true.
we digress from the.
Yeah, that was my fault.
Yes.
I apologize. We started talking about snowboarding. I was trying to get some hobbies, and I got snowboarding, so I pushed
All right.
it.
But you did bring up a good point. Safety is big in both of the trades.
Yeah.
Right? There's PPE equipment for both of the trades. I know we both have to be familiar with arc flash and things like that. So, question for you, Michelle: have you ever seen an arc flash?
Not seen one though. I
Other
mean,
than
like
the
I've seen
video.
like videos
Yeah.
and stuff like that. I've seen minor ones, but not like arc flashes when you change a plug and everything. Everything arcs, but
Right.
not like a major large one.
Yeah, and our equipment is I believe, I hope I'm correct, it's not arc flash rated, so you don't have to wear the baklava and all kinds of things. I think the only thing you have to wear.
I have an arc suit.
I
I
do
can bring
too.
it if you want to
I
see
do
it.
too. But I think the only thing we have to wear are gloves and safety glasses by the OSHA standards. I think I could be wrong on that. Don't hold me to that. But have you ever seen anybody get electrocuted? Pretty.
I have, yes.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, I was actually working on a rooftop unit.
On a rooftop unit.
Yeah.
And so you don't have to mention any names or anything, and hopefully this person is still alive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, he wasn't for a short few seconds, but now he is.
So whenever there is an accident, the thing that we need to know is was it a failure in the safety procedure, or was it a complacency thing that the person who got hurt shouldn't have done? Like, what led to that safety-wise?
I think it was a mix of both. There was probably, I think, 10 rooftop units being changed, and he assumed that this one was off, and it wasn't one of the ones that had been, because he wasn't the one doing the lockout tagouts. So he assumed this one was off, and he didn't double check. So, but also the people doing the lockout tagouts didn't communicate which ones they had turned off. So I think it was a whole mix of different things.
So that sounds like to me that if everyone had done what they were supposed to do, that no one would have got hurt.
Yes.
Okay. That's typically what happens when somebody gets hurt. Is somebody,
I think it could have easily been avoided.
yeah, good. Well, I'm glad the guy's okay.
I challenge that one.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
Be a man, change it live.
I challenge that one. I don't know any professional commercial technician, whether it's electrical or HVAC, who goes up to a disconnect and puts their hands into a 480 disconnect to take wires off without having their own meter, to
Yes,
check it.
that's what I would
I
do.
don't know anyone who does that. I just
Was this guy an electrician that got fried? Or an
Yes,
HVAC guy?
he was a journeyman electrician.
There you go.
I think I don't know. I can't say who was at fault and who wasn't at fault. I actually wasn't physically on the rooftop when it happened. There was a meter right there on top of the unit, so I'm not really sure whether it was used, whether it wasn't used. He can't say either for as long as I know. I'm pretty sure he doesn't have memory of that few hours or that day.
Yeah. I had that memory. I'd want to forget.
Yeah. I wonder if it's also a thing of just relative comfortability with being an electrician versus like us in the HVAC world. Like we check everything because we're afraid to get zapped.
Yeah.
Whereas there's a confidence level that comes with doing it every day that maybe that's where the complacency
I mean,
comes from. Because it happens to me all the time.
Yeah, I'm like
you know?
that with 120 volt, like your plugs and stuff like that. Anything in a house, to be honest, I don't get too phased or scared of.
Right.
But anything that goes up to 208 to 43 phase, I always double check no matter what.
That's a good point.
My neighbor, in a house I used to live in, was an electrician. And actually, he was actually my gym teacher in 5th through 8th grade. And this is, now I'm an adult, fast forward a couple of decades. And I accidentally hit the main breaker in my panel, and it wouldn't reset. So I went over and got him, and it was like a Sunday. He said, yeah, let me do that. He replaced the breaker live.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, what? And he goes, yeah, if I start to shake, don't touch me. I go, don't worry. I will not touch you.
I mean, yeah, we do. Like, I did a service change yesterday, and you get an authorization number from National Grid, and they're like, "Do you want to shut off?" And I almost always say no. I just do it myself. I'll disconnect the lines coming from the pole, and I put them back on after.
Okay. Well, that's something I'm not comfortable.
Well, like here's an example, right? So if I were to have you stand in front of an oil boiler, for example, and I turned it on and it was running, and I told you to open the view door to look at the flame, would you be comfortable with that?
Probably not.
Would you?
yes.
Yeah, right. So like, there's a difference when you are used to the equipment, you're confident. Like maybe on the electrician side, they're like, I don't want to do anything with active fires. Whereas for us on the HVAC world, gas and oil boilers exist. We're like, yeah, we're staring at flames all the time.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
I think,
is there gas in this pipe? Let me
Yeah,
smell.
let me smell it. Yeah, let me put a lighter next to it. See if
I'm
anything
sure like no one
catches.
else would willingly open it to be like,
Right. Yeah.
That's how I found gas leaks.
Yeah.
I'd have that little stick with a long thing in the end, and people would say, "Oh, I smell gas." We have the flame going around the piping, see where the leak is.
Yeah. Or if you got a bad valve and you just stick your thumb over it
Yeah.
while you quickly put on the valve
Yeah.
and
You have to be careful with that. We talked about that before. That's good with a 1/2-inch pipe, but once you get to a 2-inch line,
your thumb's not holding it back. Yeah.
all right.
you'd asked about seeing an arc flash. I have seen an arc flash, actually.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, nothing major like a panel or anything like that, but I was working on Newberry Street one day, and I was sent over there to put a new overflow drain to a cooling tower.
Yep.
Something you could do live, right? I mean, I don't need to turn out the power, nothing to the machine. It had some restaurants and schools below it. So I'm waiting for the thing to cycle off, and I'm going to go over it and turn around, and there's this giant green arc flying across, like, the whole rooftop. Turns out it was, like, heat trace from, like, 1991.
Wow.
That
Wow.
people must have been stepping over for years on end, and it let go.
Did you get blamed for it?
Actually, I almost lost my license over this, and it wasn't. I got lucky. The building property manager came up and said, "Oh, like last night I kept touching the cooling tower and getting shocked." And I'm like, "And then you called me in today, like if you were getting like shocked."
And don't mention that. I would have started with that.
But this is when the NFPA Hotworks had just came out, and after a couple of fire extinguishers, I had to evacuate the whole building because I couldn't get it to stop because I couldn't find the source. So I had thrown off all the disconnects on the roof. Nothing was. This is probably one of the few pure panic moments I've ever had because all the insulation on all the pipes is on fire. It's like going towards the building. It was, and I think that roof had like some kind of wood structure on the side of it. So trying to get it to stop, and the Boston Fire Department that showed up was the same crew that had lost someone in that fire a few years back. I was getting ripped apart on this, and I looked so guilty too because I had. I had PVC piping and a bandsaw, but you don't need a hot works permit to do that.
Yeah.
And, they must have thought I was cutting into the live pipe and that I hit the heat trace. And, they finally cooled off. But I'm like, wow, all these years of hard work and these guys are going to take my license away. I'm like,
Yeah, that's scary.
it was a quick moment. But you can't get to stop. And then you think, and it was heat trace too. So it's shoulder season. So it would stop. And I'm like, all right, we're safe. And then it would start back up if it got like a gust of cold air. And it was like torment, too.
Yeah, it's brutal.
So,
Yeah.
You just reminded me, when I was a kid, my parents they put a kitchen in the basement. Now, the basement was the house was built in 1901. It was a dirt floor, and it had fieldstone foundation. Mm-hmm. Right? And they decided they put down a little bit of a floor, section of cement, and my mother wanted a kitchen down there because the kitchen upstairs is for company. And guess what? When company came over, everybody went downstairs. And I vaguely remember this, but if I would touch the refrigerator and the stovetop, the metal parts of each one, I would get a shock. Mm. And if I put one hand on the refrigerator and I had a light bulb in my hand and I put it on top of the stove, the metal on the stove, the light would go on.
Yeah, so you're completing the circuit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I used to be a conductor.
you couldn't play with toys like normal kids?
No, I had to do that.
That was their toys.
Yeah, that was my toys.
That's what happened.
Did you ever get any creatures in your fieldstone basement?
Yes, all kinds of creatures.
Yeah, my house that I just bought, I didn't know it came with a family of snakes in the
Yep.
basement.
Snakes
yeah.
like
Those are pretty
fieldstone.
common.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that was common.
Yeah, no, snakes like that. They need a place to live,
yeah.
too. Why don't you get your dogs to go after them?
I do. I'm just scared they're going to come up with like a new collar that moves.
Yeah. My house had a fieldstone. It was mostly mice.
Yeah.
Because I also had a pear tree like right up against my house. And so in the fall, literally you could look out my front door and see mice jumping through the grass. There was so many of them that I'm like, the pear tree came down. I'm like, sorry, it's not happening.
Yeah, we didn't have
I don't do
access.
mice.
Yeah, in the house I grew up in, we didn't have access to the attic. So as an adult, my mother kept hearing noises up in the attic. So we had to cut in, a scuttle
Yeah.
to get up there. And I go up there and there's squirrels everywhere.
Yep.
Right? It was squirrels everywhere. They got in. So we had it felt like a Looney Tunes cartoon.
Yeah.
Because, there's the one when I think it's Daffy Duck and it's either Elmer Fudd or Porky Pig's the hotel. No, Daffy Duck is the hotel manager. I think it's Elmer Fudd goes and checks in and there's a mouse. So he sends a cat to get rid of the mouse, and then he sends a dog to get rid of the cat.
Yeah.
And then send a tiger to get rid of the dog, and then they send an elephant to get rid of the tiger, and the mouse to get rid of the elephant. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
Never ends.
So somebody said, "So get a cat." So we went and got a cat, and I put him up there and get rid of the squirrels. And he jumped out of the sky. I'm on the top of a stepladder. You know that step on a 6-foot stepladder? It says "Do not stand or sit."
Yeah.
I was standing on that. And the cat comes down, and I grab him. So, he's told, cats land on all fours. So I dropped him. No. He grabbed onto my legs, dug his claws into my legs, and I was like, ow. Anyway, I don't know why we got here. How we got here.
You and the animals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a porcupine. That was the weirdest one I ever saw in a house. Where I was doing a furnace cleaning, and the air filter had all these, it looked like little pellets you'd put in your wood stove or your pellet stove. That's what it looked like all over the filter. And I'm like, I don't know what the heck this is. And the only evidence was there was one white, skinny looking quill looking thing. And I didn't know what it was. I vacuumed it all up and I told the homeowner, there was in your filter. It's obviously something that was living in there. There's wood pellets all over, which I'm assuming was droppings. And he's like, oh yeah, I had a porcupine in my kitchen the other day. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, I was right on the counter. I had to shoo it away. I'm like, what do you mean shoo it away? Where did it go? He's like, I don't know how it's getting in. I think it was getting in because the furnace was in the garage.
Yeah.
And I think it was getting in through the ductwork and probably was living in the return air for a while in the wintertime and would come up through the ductwork to go and enter into his kitchen.
Yeah.
New fear unlocked. Jeez.
Yeah. No,
Well, I mean, that guy was so casual about it. And I was shocked because I'm like, if there was a porcupine ever in my house, like I'm not going back in until I see it removed.
Yeah.
Like I'm not going back in the house until I see it removed by somebody that isn't me.
Go to
I replaced the blower motor, and it was a building that was about 15 or 20 years old. And inside, and this is going to sound funny, but it's actually true, inside the squirrel cage blower motor was a squirrel skeleton.
Yeah.
So there was only a little bit of hair left on it, but it was just a skeleton of a squirrel, and all the bones were fused in. It had been there, I think, since day one, and it must have smelled awful for a couple of weeks before, but there was nothing left. It was just a squirrel skeleton, and there was a little bit of fur and the tail left in there. And I go, that's a real squirrel cage.
Yeah. Probably had a hole in their heat exchanger.
my
That got in there through the chimney.
my second year apprentice that works with us, when he's like, getting into taking his own service calls, because that's kind of where he's at in the program. And this is Nick. He went to a service call this past 2 weeks, I think, and got in there and he found a dead bird in the squirrel cage.
Oh, yeah.
And he's calling us being like, is it my job to remove this? I'm like, it
Yes.
is.
Yeah, who else is going to do it?
You got it.
He's
Yeah.
like, what am I supposed to do? I'm like, I would treat it like my dog's mess, like with a market basket bag. I'm like, I don't know.
Get it out.
Do I have to explain it? Like,
Dead birds in the flue, that's your job.
Yep.
Dead mice in the drain line,
You got
that's
to be
your
careful
job.
in
I
the
find-
summertime.
I find the mice in panels all the time.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
just sleeping on breakers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to find them in
Permanent
capacitors.
sleeping.
They would sleep in the capacitor, and they would fry themselves. And fried mouse.
Yep.
Yeah, chew the wires. Oh yeah, that's critters. It's part of the job. Yeah, that's who
The
else
worst is working on light posts in the parking lot. Reach your hand and you can't see anything. Everything starts moving. You're like, oh, that's horrible. That's horrible.
the mice actually, people don't know this. They don't chew because they're hungry. They have to chew to shave their teeth down.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Must be what happened to my car. Just really long teeth, and they were just had to
Yeah.
really
Well,
get them shaved down.
The stuff they're using less plastic in the insulator of wire, and it's now made with like soybean product in there, so it's food
Yeah.
for the mice. And now you got a crankcase heater, which is heat in the wintertime. You got some shelter, so the cars too. Yeah, if you let a car sit long enough, mice will get in it.
Yeah, that's what happened. I had to park my car over the winter because I had a flat tire and I didn't feel like fixing it. And sure enough, I came back in the spring.
That's what happens.
Yep.
Anyway, I'm not sure we talked about anything useful, but
Yeah. What about final messages? Anybody, maybe other women that might be entering into the field, any advice you'd give
That's
them?
a good question.
Anything like that might inspire somebody who's
that's
listening.
a good one.
I would just say stick with it. And it's like being a teacher, there's kids that are on co-op and you get both males and females that are like, I don't know if I like this, but I always tell them too, like before you give up the whole trade, like it might be the size of the company you work for or the type of the division you do. Like you might hate residential but love commercial. Like you might want to do networking or like Cat 6, like security.
Sure.
There's so many different
Controls.
options.
Yeah.
I wouldn't just rule out the entire trade on like one bad experience or like one employer that you're not enjoying.
Yeah, absolutely.
And following that too, if say you don't end up loving the physical field work of it, you can move into project management, you can move into other divisions, even just in a regular company, because having the actual in-field trade knowledge will go a lot longer than being someone who came out of college, in my opinion, when it comes to finding jobs.
Yeah, absolutely. There's trade-offs and benefits to both, but yeah.
Right.
Look at me. I work here and I don't have a college degree.
No, me neither.
Just a parts changer for a couple of years.
And you don't have the college debt either.
True.
I've mentioned this before. That I call her the little girl down the street, but she's my son's age. She's 21. She went to the local Vogue school here, Assabet, here in Marlboro, and she's now working for an HVAC contractor. and she's running the ductwork, and she's got a job, and she's got no debt, and she loves it, and she's making pretty decent money too.
Yeah. And that's one of the things about the trades I like in general. I mean, I think on the electrician side, it's a little bit different, but in the HVAC world, the barrier to entry is so low to start. You know, a lot of the stuff you can do is on the job trained, where, you know, even if you go to a trade school for 4 years, for the most part, you come out ready to at least work and learn the rest on the job. Obviously, you have to go through your apprenticeship and your journeyman, and that takes more time. There's a little bit more of a barrier to entry for something like that. But in general, compared to other industries, it's a really low barrier to entry to make decent money right away.
Yeah, and just a little plug here. You mentioned the ESCO event that's coming up in Vegas at the end of March. I'm actually going to be sitting on a panel with, I want to say, 12 or 13 other manufacturers. We're actually getting together to discuss specifically workforce development and the challenges that we face. I'm going to be part of that discussion panel as well. So that's going to happen on the general session. So if you're interested, go to the ESCO website, ESCO. You can just Google and find their website. They have an event. It's in Vegas.
Yep.
It's for HVAC educators, for HVAC contractors, specific to HVAC, but you can still go if you want.
Yeah,
Michelle,
you're
it's okay.
invited.
Yeah. But I'm looking forward to that. It's the first time, at least that I'm aware of, that different manufacturers in the industry are getting together to address an industry-wide problem of where's the next generation of techs going to come from. And, you know, Michelle, I'm glad you're actually giving back to your trade by, you know, in teaching these folks. And I think what's most important is the soft skills and making them job ready and giving them that confidence. And hey, you never stop learning. I don't think in either one of these trades you never stop learning.
Yeah, absolutely.
But thank you both for being here.
Yeah.
Did I cut you off? Were you going to say something?
Yeah, I was going to say something. Yeah. I think with a lot of kids too that need to understand is if you stick through, like Michelle said, that I think a lot of these kids are shy about getting out there and doing it. And something to keep in mind is that being underestimated is temporary. You know, and you know, confidence comes through repetition. That's a huge thing. I think that people should know, especially when you're first on a job site and you need to go fix something. The pressure's on. Like,
Absolutely.
Pressure's on. You're sweating.
And I don't know. I've noticed something about the younger generation, at least in my kids and my 15-year-old and his friends. And I don't know if this is just me or if this is maybe you'll know, but when they're learning something for the first time, they get so frustrated if they don't get it right the first time. And I'm trying to explain it to them. I go, look, learning is an ongoing. You don't become perfect at something the first time. I finally got through my son's head. You know, he was trying to learn the guitar and he didn't get it.
Yeah.
I said, I don't think Eric Clapton played the guitar perfectly his first time. You got to practice at it, you know. So, and he's like, "Who's Eric Clapton?" Anyway.
All right.
Okay, that's it. Thank you both.
Yeah, thank
for
you.
being
Thank you
here.
for having
We'll
us.
see you on the next time. So, when are you guys taking me up to the fireplace?
It depends on when you're taking me to Vegas.
Well, I think my wife's going to have some problems with that.
So I was actually going to ask, do you have a favorite cut of steak? Like if you had to pick a steak, money's not an issue. What steak would you pick?
Mine is still ribeye.
Ribeye?
I'll fluctuate between tomahawk to ribeye. Ribeye is like my go-to for everything. And I do love a New York sirloin as well. I'm not a big filet person.
No.
Lately, I've been on the New York sirloin train. Like, I don't know, it just has so much more flavor than a filet.
Yeah.
And usually ribeyes or tomahawks are just way
too
too big for me.
So I recently came around to ribeyes. Prior to that, it was porterhouse. And the reason why I like the porterhouse is because you get New York strip on one side, and on the other side of the bone is filet. So it's like my two favorites, right on each side of that bone. But now it's like ribeye is like up there, one of my favorites. I love it. It's just like so fatty and chewy. It's like perfect texture, perfect flavor.
I usually get the ribeye, and the last time I went to a steak place, I got the porterhouse.
Yeah.
And I was regretting it. I said I should have stuck with the ribeye.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do like the ribeye.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you on the next one.
Bye-bye.
Thank